Blessings, everyone. Before commencing with the individual sign weekly readings, let us have a look at the incoming wave or general shift that is coming to all people. Remember, incoming waves extend beyond the single week in influence. These are shifts in the energetic dynamic that are integrating into the new normal. Please also remember, though this wave is already being experienced by many, including myself, these are forecasts of incoming changes. They are not intended to be immediately relatable to those viewing ahead of time, and so they may not be right away. This wave is personified by the Hermit and the Fool. At a glance, it almost felt paradoxical, but that is not so. There is much movement here. This week begins a turn towards deep transition with many trade-offs. The Hermit presents a shift that is spiritually and energetically altering the personal landscape, while the Fool ushers forth new beginnings and departures from old journeys. It is a feeling of abrupt turns and trades, as many stories and phases are suddenly brought to an end to make room for fresh starts and clean slates. Freedom. With this also comes resurrection and connection opportunities with many aspects of self and spiritual kin across many spaces and lifetimes. Remember the return to innocence energies that began to take hold in March. This may be difficult or uncomfortable for those invested in a focus or an outcome, especially if personal healing or identity is wrapped up in that focus or outcome. Remind them of the importance of flow. Show support for the choices to stop going in circles. It's okay to take time away from spaces and those who are not, or choose not to be, ready to take on this week. Make as much room as you can for your gifts. Let the wave do its work. Remember, there is grace here. The new presents before the old departs. Explore the options presenting with discernment and non-judgment. Let the arrival of new opportunities, adventures, breakthroughs, foreignness, and reunions be the mixed bag blessing it is. All right, there, Pisces. Now that we've had a look at the incoming wave, let's have a look and see how it's going to translate or land for you this week. Remember, incoming waves are here to stay. They are for all populations, and it's sort of like the new normal. It's an element of the new normal, the new dynamic. But let's see how it actually lands for you and shapes your incoming week. Now, as we get to your archetypal themes, oh, by the way, if you ever want to get a session with me, please go to my website. It's integrativemysticism.com, or you can follow the links below. And if you're on a mobile device, you have to open the down bar below by clicking on the arrow. There you go. So when it comes to the archetypal themes of this coming week, we actually have the Tower card upright. So a lot of this trade-off energy is going to present to you in a very different way than it is to the other zodiac signs, because it looks like you are going to be seeing, again, the better timeline, the higher reality, the better iterations when it comes to your love life, your financial life, your health, your home life, your family life, all of that. You're going to see the trade-off opportunities come as we start to see the stuff that is not working actually start to show its failure. And with the Tower card upright, that can be a bit extreme feeling, right? Because it's kind of like, okay, whoa. I get to choose, right? Yes, absolutely. You still get to choose. Everyone's free will is always respected. But with the Tower, we are also starting to see where certain commitments, certain attachments, certain cycles, certain loops, and certain realities that we are holding up are starting to crumble. They are not eligible to go on to the next phase. They are not going to get any better than they are. In fact, they maybe should have been shifted out a while ago. And with the Tower card upright, there is a massive cleanup going on around all spaces of your life. Now remember, we do have that trade-off energy, so the positive alternatives for maybe your relationship to go, or the positive roads or alternatives for your resources to go, they're all coming, right? They're all going to be here. So it's not like it's all terrible. It's not all that bad, right? We don't split it into black and white. But at the same time, with that Tower card, it's important to understand that when we have this sort of, okay, the new is now here, the new better, and again, more complementary, more high vibe, more, prosperous and fulfilling experience is here, that which is, ultimately not able to keep up with it is gonna have to, get filtered out. And the Tower is kind of indicating this week what needs to go and what needs to stay will almost always be illustrated by, okay, well, what is going is already going. It's already showing you where it's falling down, where it's falling apart, where it needs to end, where it needs to crumble. And that can be a little bit tough because we might be attached to certain things, right? Like I talked about in the incoming clip, it might be tough for certain people around you who have their identities attached to a certain outcome or a certain journey they're on. But the important thing is to let it go and let it flow. Because with the Tower, we are basically seeing that which is a detriment, that which is a liability, getting actually eroded and starting to, dissolve before your very eyes, while we actually have the better, the new, I guess you could say, yeah, the more evolved experience, the more fulfilling experience, the more loving experience, the more prosperous experience, moving into the gap it's leaving. And so, you have a choice, right? You can always, of course, take your time, but don't try to keep that which is ultimately going away in your life if it's going to cost you so much of yourself and your future. When it comes to your news and arrivals, we have the Seven of Pentacles upright. And so when it comes to friends, when it comes to relatives, group dynamics, teams, the Seven of Pentacles is actually issuing forth a very positive message this week. There is going to be some good news about something that you have been aiming for, something that you've been maybe working with somebody on, or maybe you're not working with them. Maybe it's just something that's going on out in the environment, but it's available to you, is starting to actually take shape. It's starting to grow, right? We don't always have to be the ones to 100% build it ourselves, but it's kind of like, oh, thank goodness, yes, it's on the way. I always call this the check is in the mail card, because with the Seven of Pentacles, there's going to be some kind of news coming through one of your external contacts that is kind of indicating that a plan that was set forth or an intention that was set forth is starting to bear fruit. It's starting to substantiate. It's kind of halfway through its time in the oven, and there's an update. You better get ready. It's time to get this show on the road. In fact, the Seven of Pentacles upright, this can indicate a time where we are now getting an opportunity, a bit of a heads up. Oh my gosh, it's coming. And now we have to make room for it. This is a preparatory week. This, whatever you're trying to work on here, it's like, are we starting a new business? Are we getting ready for, an expansion on our family? Is it a new place to live? Is it a new job? Is it a new source of prosperity? It's kind of like something is giving you a heads up through your contacts, like, dude, it's on the way, it's being built, it's on the way right now. Where are you? How ready, how prepared are you for this thing? So you're seeing a lot of this stuff crumble, but you're also getting this like, look, this is making room here. We have to declutter. We have to hold space for this, but there has to be space to hold. And so that's what's being made this week. As we get to material resources, when we speak about your professional and resource ambitions in general, well, we have the Two of Pentacles in reverse, and a lot of you Pisces people are having decisions get made about where your future is going in this direction, pretty much alongside you. There's a lot of help here, because the Two of Pentacles reverse is reducing our responsibilities. It's reducing that which is actually making us juggle or try to kind of straddle two competing priorities at once, or multiple priorities at once. And with the material resources, with the Two of Pentacles reversed, some of you may find that an opportunity is now isolated and handed off to you, right? If you've been juggling job opportunities, transfer opportunities, promotion opportunities, maybe there's something here that kind of, okay, this one is clearly the winner, and we finally have a commitment get set. The same thing can go when it comes to financial sources, financial resources. We could be dropping things that are, not necessarily paying off the way that we thought they were, because now something that's ready to pay out now is ready to pay out now. We might be dropping even things that are tying up our finances this week. We're having a chance to, get cut loose from certain obligations. Maybe some decisions are being made when it comes to either, somebody who is handling your finances or your income avenues is concerned. Maybe it's having to do with, your... Maybe it has something to do with a resource source that you have. Maybe it's got something to do with your job. Like, something is happening where we are kind of getting rid of the filler, getting rid of the distractions. And what I like about the material resources with the Two of Pentacles reversed, it's like now we can actually get down and set, and get to work on the new thing and watch that, material prosperity roll in. We don't have to worry about, shopping. We don't have to worry about competing. We don't have to worry about spinning multiple plates at one time. In fact, with the Two of Pentacles reversed, there could be some selective reduction going on as far as where your material prosperity is coming from, to widen that avenue, to make it so that actually more can come down that pipe for you in that sense. And so all in all, it's actually a very positive week, but you are watching this happen amidst a lot of external chaos. Just remember, not everyone is capable of, at least at this level of, whatever level of consciousness they're at, of, thinking on their feet. So you don't want to let yourself get deceived. Sometimes people will try to make you think that, you're not allowed to be productive, or somebody might be trying to say, well, I don't see how this could happen because look at the external, look at the world, look what's going on out there. And it's like, no, hold on a second. Like, if you need things to be so super simple, you're never going to get through. You got to be able to think on your feet and improvise. And you're getting a chance to kind of transcend those self-imposed limitations that other people might be dealing with when it comes to your material wealth and your job. And so this is a great week for you. You're kind of getting plucked out of that lower realm kind of mentality. In fact, as we get into relationships with the Ace of Pentacles reversed, for those of you who are curious about love, well, when it comes to love and romance, there is sort of a destabilizing energy going on here, but I feel like this is actually very freeing for both you and your partner, you and somebody new, because the Ace of Pentacles reversed is kind of giving a way out. That's what I'm actually getting here. Something is crumbling, yes, there's a crumbling going on, but the trade out is still occurring, just as it's happening with the material resources, just like it's happening with news and arrivals. And with the Ace of Pentacles reversed, what I'm actually feeling is that you're kind of set free, when it comes to love and romance, from either a future or maybe a way of carrying on the conditions of this relationship, or maybe even a certain type of relationship expectation. And we are actually stepping into a space where, as that Ace of Pentacles reversed kind of, again crumbles, we see something else take its place. Now, what I like about the Ace of Pentacles reversed in this respect is that it's showing something that has already been too high maintenance, too costly. It took too much work, too much extraordinary effort just to make, just to pass. And what I like about seeing it going away here with this trade-off energy, right, because I read everything as, I read this all in combination, is that there is something going on where, yes, there could be some disappointment we might be finding with the Ace of Pentacles reversed, that the work is going poorly, something that we may have had our hearts set on, or maybe not even our hearts set up, just our minds set on as an intention, is not working. And yet at the same time, the fact that it's going away is making room for maybe a better relationship platform for you and a partner to work on, a better a better situation as it relates to a household arrangement, maybe something that's even playing out for you as it goes into your you actually finding a completely different type of relationship to carry on with somebody new if you're available and looking. But with the Ace of Pentacles reversed, what we're kind of seeing is that freedom. We are breaking free from having to do things we think we're supposed to do. And everyone is actually a lot happier for it. I don't see this as a negative Ace of Pentacles reversed. It's almost like a, you know what? I was almost feeling irresponsible for being happy that I don't have to do this anymore, that we don't have to do this anymore. We are actually free to actually have the family or the relationship we want to have. Or maybe it has to do with those of you who are single. I don't, I've actually found, a replacement for a certain type of life, a certain type of relationship or lifestyle that I would always carry on with other partners. And this new person that's coming in, this new situation that's coming in, is actually giving some kind of freedom, energy, or encouragement that is allowing for a little bit more of of an honest and fluid relationship, something that is actually going to be mutually fulfilling, but also something that is not restricted in the way that I may have felt restricted in previous relationships. So all in all, I mean, in spite of the fact that there is some rough here, this is actually going to be a monumental and transformative week for you. So that is your horoscope. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. You know I appreciate it. And should you ever want to get a session with me, go to my website. It's integrativemysticism.com.